give back, help others, reach out and touch someone's hand and make this world a better place if you can. That's sort of our theme, and that's what you do every day. Today we're celebrating our Net Aging Network. We found that, as you all know, times change, situations change, housing needs change, housing size changes. There's a need for transportation. There's a need for socialization. A lot of people may be still living in the community in their homes, and their family members have moved out, their neighbors have moved out, and they don't really know anybody on the block where they live, where they grew up, where they raised families. Circumstances have changed. And so what we decided is that there are people to get tuned into the next stage. What is the next stage for you in terms of housing? What is the next stage for you in terms of transportation? I have to be someplace tomorrow, and my husband wants to use my car. So I'm going to use a car service. Do you know about the car services that are there? What's the next stage in terms of your exercise, in terms of your social activities? What's the next stage for your being able to give back, share what you've learned with others who need to not have to go through the hard times you may have gone through, because you know how to get around that, and you can share that with them. So with Next Stage, and we call it the Next Stage Network, and you all heard of it, we provide educational information and opportunities for seniors to know what's available to them for the next stage, and we get them to start thinking about it. When we got started with our public-private partnership over 25 years ago, we found that there were people living in parts of the county where the nearest bus was five miles away. Home care workers could not get to that community where they need home care workers. I spoke at IBM because their workers were having to miss work, being home to take care of older relatives. We found that there was a need to formalize our approach to solving some of these problems. And that's how we started the Next Stage Network. Now, of course, we're going to be in a housing situation, which you probably all know, probably by next week, unless the new governor extends the moratorium on evictions. But you've got not just people who are renters, you've got people who are property owners who were renting to people who can't pay their rent. And now they're homeless. You've seen on television, property owners own 2 properties, and they're homeless. They want to evict people so they could have some place to stay. This woman and her child own 2 properties. The renters could not pay, and the owners have been living out of their car, the automobile. So, I mean, you just can't make this stuff up, and you got to think about it in terms of what's the next stage for me in terms of my housing, in terms of my socialization, in terms of my mobility, my transportation. What's the next stage for me, and how do I go about making that happen? You just can't let life happen. You got to go ahead and be out front. And that's what you do, get people to think about it. And we started the Livable Community Villages, I don't know how many years ago, but we divided the county into 6 regions. And we provided funding to corporations to have a livable community coordinator. Now, that coordinator is responsible for bringing together all the services and forming what we call relationship villages. It might be a neighborhood association, a block club, it might be a nutrition site, it might be an apartment building, it might be a house of worship, but these are relationship villages. Somebody should know you exist, and where do you live, and what your needs are. I know that we went to Andre a couple of days ago. Most of you are getting calls at 4 o'clock in the morning on your cell phones and your emergency systems about the storm. Were you able to reach out to people who might not have a cell phone, or who might not have an emergency response system to make sure they're okay? So there's just a lot to be done with our Livable Communities program. We call them relationship villages. It might be a house of worship, a block club, it might be a sorority, it might be a employer. It just might be people organized. So thank you to our Livable Community coordinators, and thank you to our village chairpersons, and continue with your good work. It's really do. We really just don't know where this country is going in the next 5 years or so, in the next 2 years. We don't know where this country is going, this county is going in the next year in terms of housing and all of these evictions. So continue what you do. We appreciate it. You are appreciated. We couldn't do what we do. I came from Capitol Hill when we passed the Older Americans Act, and we passed the Voting Rights Act, and we passed the Civil Rights Act. I was working for the legislative congressman who was in charge of these programs for Kennedy. And of course, Kennedy was assassinated and Johnson took over. But it was really a challenge being here. And I had to memorize the faces of all of the key players in the House of Representatives that we would need to support the legislation. Now, I can tell you, running up and down the halls of Congress before Kennedy was assassinated, those programs were not going to go anywhere. They weren't going to get on the agenda of the House Rules Committee. If they don't pass House Rules Committee, they don't go to the House floor. But when Kennedy was assassinated, it changed the atmosphere, it changed the temper, it changed feelings. And so people didn't want to talk to me before. I would run up and down the halls and I had media pictures and I wanted to know, how can you support their legislative agenda, but you support our legislative agenda? I mean, they didn't want me in the office. Everything changed when Kennedy was assassinated. So we've gone through a lot, but I think the clock is going back to fighting for legislation that we fought to get passed back in 1965. Older Americans Act was passed in 1965. So we have to continue to prove to the congressman that these programs are valuable, and we started our newsletter. Can you get our newsletter? Okay, we started the newsletter and that goes to the representatives, and we present at national conferences. So other communities can take these issues up with their legislators. And also, one community told me in one of the states that's really challenged now, we were speaking at a national conference, Colette and I were speaking, and this person stood up on that stage and says, "Where are you from? You think that's going to fly in my state? I better not ask anybody to look out for somebody or whatever." You know, I was just surprised that they were so open about it. But I think things are changing a little bit. So keep up your good work. Encourage people to get vaccinated and not get the booster shot. We're doing very well here in Westchester County in terms of older people being vaccinated. We're doing very well in terms of getting services to the shut-in. We served over 20,000 home-delivered meals in the past quarter for those who were shut-in and couldn't get out. But that's all because of you. You let us know who needs what, and you contact our office and contact our workers, and we're just glad to serve. So, thank you very much for coming, and I'm going to turn it over to our esteemed Little Book Communities chairperson, Colette.
She is the queen of advocacy, and so I have to say to you that, and we love her. But anyway, I'm here actually to just give you some sort of housekeeping things, because I'd like to more have Jennifer to come up. She helped to coordinate, you know, this entire project, and I think she should be speaking to you all and introducing you to our LCC coordinators. So this is a couple of things. I want you, if you are not on our weekly update that goes out every single week, and there are just a plethora of things that we are doing here in Westchester County, please let us know so that we can you can give your name to Flo over there, and she'll include you in the weekly update list. If you'll also notice, we have a wonderful student from SUNY Purchase, Patrick over there, and Patrick is taking photos. We don't have photo releases, but what we're saying to you is verbally, we're asking you, can we take your photo? Okay? And we will be taking photos. We use them for our annual report and for our website also. That also brings up both of our websites. the Department of Senior Programs and Services website, which is filled with, when I ask my students to peruse and review the websites, they cannot believe how much we have on there. And also we have our public-private partnership website that you should also peruse, that has webinars on demand, practically everything that you would want. Also, May did mention the Next Stage Network. If you remember, before we were captured by COVID, we had our face-to-face meetings, and you had cards, and we would stamp those cards every time you attended, something that we were either giving or our beautiful network was giving. So we will be mailing out those NSN cards to you so that you'll have them and you'll have another stamper. I want to thank our total staff, because I didn't. I have to. Jen Schwartz, Flo White, Mary Kay Capasso, Charlotte Nottingham, who is not here today. She's in Napa, California, enjoying a wedding. Okay, and also that we have another student working here, Jerry Herbert, and Jerry is from Tulane University.
Hi, everybody, and thanks so much for coming. This reminds me, we're still here. We had a big conference event the day after a snowstorm, but we still had it, and now 17 or 18 months after a pandemic and a very hard year, we're still here. And that's really very special to see all of you.
And you had a baby.
Yeah, pandemic. Just to talk a little bit about the villages. Villages are, as May said, relationship villages. You are our partners. Villages are our partners. Right now, we have 339 listed villages. That represents 376,983 constituents. So it's very, very exciting. Again, the weekly newsletter that Colette works really, really hard on and does a beautiful job. It just showcases all of the goings on. And again, we are here. There are programs going on. We've pivoted, we've adapted, and we are still going strong. So with that, I would like to ask each one of our livable communities coordinators to stand up and to introduce yourself. You can come up here if you like, or you can stay where you are.
A resource for Yonkers seniors.
Hi everyone, Deb Castle. I represent Central Northeast section of Westchester. That whole region. I work on family services of Westchester, and I wear a second hat, which is outreach coordinator for Ride Connect too. So if you have any questions there, as well.
Okay.
My name is Nancy Heitner Day. I represent the South Central region in Money Earning Mount Vernon, and I work for the Westchester Public-Private Partnership. I just want to say that prior to working with livable communities, I am a village through my church, and it was a very wonderful experience, and I look forward to bringing that to other villages in the region.
I am Louise Challet, and I'm the coordinator for the central region of the livable communities, which includes Greenberg, and if you pay taxes to Greenberg, you're most likely in my region, White Plains and Scarsdale down through Bronxville and the Sound Shore area. So it's a pretty large swath of communities, and I would love to hear from any of you with any questions that you have. And I work out of Westchester Jewish Community Services, which is a full-service mental health and social service agency. We have programs for the seniors, we have programs for the disabled, we have programs for LGBTQ teens. So I'm twice blessed because I work for Livable Communities and WJCS.
Thank you. I
And
thank you.
we received a national award for the Livable Communities program, and it became part of the reauthorization of the Older Americans Act. Of course, they didn't give us any money, but they wanted to to use it as a model around the country, to show what volunteers and volunteer agencies can do. Congratulations to all of you. This was included in the reauthorization of the Older Americans Act. We made a presentation to the United Nations and to members of Congress of what you were doing. And as a result, they decided to include livable communities in the reauthorization of the Older Americans Act, which funds our nutrition programs and the offices for aging around the country. So congratulations to you. Your work is recognized.
And we're going to keep this fairly informal. I want to ask everybody to introduce yourself, your agency or your services that are offered, and then a few thoughts that you have about COVID, about the future, ways to partner.
Hi, my name is Sippy Hart, and I'm the Westchester Director for DeRote. We have many programs for older adults through the Telephone Friends program, where we identify older adults who might want to have somebody call them, and we look for volunteers who share interests to be able to do that. There is some literature I put on the table, in addition to some jar openers and some little tote bags like this. We also have an intergenerational chess program that with COVID we moved to Zoom, and we have people that can help people get onto Zoom so that you can play chess. It's high school students and adults 60 and better. And we also have a University Without Walls, which are telephone classes on a whole array of topics. The new catalog should be coming out momentarily. And I think registration for new classes on the telephone for the University Without Walls will be available, I think, in the next couple weeks. And the on-site programs that we have been doing, both in our office here in White Plains, in addition to the city, with COVID, we moved everything to Zoom. And so there's an amazing array of programs that people can take advantage of. There are ongoing programs, one-time opportunities, and recognizing that a lot of older adults may not have as much facility with using the computer, we have tech tutors. And the tech tutors can help you remotely access and get stuff, and we train them to be able to do that. And my business cards are there if anybody has any questions and follow up.
What is the name of your agency again, please?
DeRote, D-O-R-O-T. It's a Hebrew word that means generations. And we serve all of Westchester, and we have people from all over the place now, like in the intergenerational chess program, or are on site at home, because you can live anywhere for those things. Thanks. Okay.
Hi, good morning. My name is Janine. I'm representing Always an Angel Home Care. We are small but large. We service all of Putnam and Westchester. We're a companion agency, and we've been serving seniors for a little bit over 10 years. Since COVID has hit, we've created a different way of approach of dealing with seniors. Most of our assessments are in person, but we were very creative and did things through windows or via phones. So we are just here to help and to give the opportunity to serve people in Westchester and make sure that their needs get met, and also be the safety net between the family, the community, and so that they can live still at home. Thank you for having me.
I'm Joni Ehrlich. I'm with the Village of Pleasantville, which is a municipal social recreation program. We do some social services, but mostly I connect with everyone here through the network. And I think I've used most everybody's services at least once over the years. Through COVID, we, like everyone else, have had to kind of shift to different formats, different ways of doing things. But I kind of found the silver lining is that it gave us a chance to reevaluate our program and reevaluate our community and see how our seniors have changed, and our programs now need to change to meet them.
And this is basically just to let people know that we recognize and we care for the services that they offer, that, you know, our motto is we need to care for the caregivers like we care for our patients. So with that, again, with the partnership with the WPPP and with Colette and May, we're able to provide this to anybody who's a caregiver in Westchester County, or who has taken care of somebody who lives in Westchester County. And on a needs basis only, there is some funds available to assist with durable medical equipment that cannot be obtained through the normal channels of Medicare and Medicaid or private insurance. So it has to be written by a doctor, a doctor's note and prescription, and also screened for needs-based. The biggest thing that we're doing right now is the care navigation and the baskets and the education program. But the care navigation, I just want to recognize people involved in that as well. So some of you may have been introduced to Pam Lieberman, who's a social worker at the hospital, through some of the caregiver collaborative programs. So she's helping, and Cornelia Schimmert, who's I think technically still on vacation today or just back today. A lot of you may know her. She works also with Deb Castle on the Building Better Caregiver Education Program. So I just want to put a pitch in. I did put information out on the table. We could take referrals all over the county. I think it's a unique program. We're probably the only ones doing something like this. We're so proud to be able to partner with the WPPC, getting a lot of recognition now. Just wanted to give a pitch out there. Any caregiver who could use support, whether it's for, health, well-being, emotional support, resources, or anything like that. We have the navigators available to do that. And again, you can call us. My cards are out there too, at the hospital. And also email us at caregiver@northwells.edu. So we're easily accessible, and we look forward to working with you collaboratively to help the people of Westchester County.
I am a caregiver. I'm a retired teacher and principal, and believe it or not, I need help accessing help for my husband, who was recently diagnosed with Parkinson's. And I'm his primary caregiver, although we do have a health aide who comes in twice a week for 6 hours. And that's why I'm here, because she's there. He so needs socialization. Thank God for Dorot, by the way. Thank God for me too. I just finished a great Dorot course, so that was great for my mental health. But please tell me what else is available that he can go to. I can drive him there, or maybe there are transportation options to get him there, but he's an extrovert. He really needs socialization. All of the other socialization things that he had until last September when he was diagnosed have dried up primarily because of COVID. So please tell me. We live in Greenberg, so I'm about to come over and say hi, and what can you help me with? But so that's why I'm here, because I really need to hear the options. I wouldn't mind hearing some things for caregivers.
Yeah, I'm getting my card out for you.
I think I'm doing okay, thanks to places like Dorot and others where I can go out, I can reach out. But he really needs help, and it breaks my heart. Thank you.
Would you like to say anything?
Yes, hi, my name is Michael Thomas. I'm representing the plaza in Mount Vernon. I'm just a tenant association, but what I do is as much as I can do for everyone there. It's one of the larger complexes in Mount Vernon, and I just thought that I was just taking on the job of tenant association, but other things come with it. I never turned anything down, so I'm just here. One of the people who was helping me was Miss Ronnie Cox, but I think she was here for a moment. She stepped out. But how you doing? Nancy. And yes, at the meeting. And I'm here to get as much information so I can take it back to help as many seniors as I can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anna?
Hey, I'm Anna Wiganowska, Westchester County Public Works Traffic Safety Office. So our focus is educating everybody about any traffic safety issues that come up. And a big part of this is educating senior drivers. And it's not necessarily like focus on getting them off the road, rather helping them realize when it's time to stop driving, if it ever happens. It's never about age, as we say, it's always about ability. So it's good to have this information in the back of your head, be kind of prepared to look for signs when it's maybe not advisable to drive anymore. But on the other hand, also use resources that are available right here in the county to stay on the road as long as possible, but stay on the road safely. So we try to tell people about these things, how to monitor themselves. There are some little things that they can do to be safer on the road, little changes maybe in driving, little gadgets that they can get to drive longer and safer. But if there is time to stop driving, we refer them to resources that are available in Westchester and you know, those of you like volunteer driving or Beeline or paratransit, all those things like in one package. So we used to be a very active program before COVID. We used to travel to senior centers and community centers and all kinds of places that would have seniors there. With COVID, that we kind of had to reimagine ourselves, that it has been a challenge with Zoom and Google Meet and stuff, but we'll be trying to do that. So if there is any group there that would like to have us talk to your seniors or have brochures, have information, have phone numbers, everything in one handy package so seniors would know what is available, we'll be happy to work with you. And hopefully when things get to normal and we have more beautiful events in the parks, like Salute to Seniors or other health fairs and stuff, we'll be happy to bring our information and be a part of all those events. I have, there is some information on the table. I have my information here, so if anybody even remotely is thinking that at some point you might want to have this educational programs, I'll be very happy to talk to you and leave the information. Thank you.
And I am from First United Methodist Church. I'm here with my pastor. But right now she stepped away to be on Zoom with her senior boss. So I'm here. I guess when she comes, she will introduce herself. So, and I am also the coordinator of the older adult ministry at First United. But all of this that is going on here now, incorporated with the church and the community, is a wonderful opportunity. So I need all of your information so that I can take it back to the church and make a big announcement. And so that all of these, especially the safety driving, because our older people do not want to give up their driver's license. And you know, when they hear of it from different prospects, it would be good for them. So this is well here today. And I am just an invited, second invited, and I'm glad that I'm here. So thanks everybody for your information.
Hi, I'm one of the villages for the North Central region, headed up by Deb Castle as the outreach coordinator. Ride Connect is a transportation program for seniors, age 60 and over, who can no longer drive. So we have volunteers who give these rides at absolutely no charge to the client. They do have to be able to get in and out of the car on their own. There's some stipulations, 7 days notice. They have to fill out an eligibility form in order to become a client. It's all pretty simple stuff. We serve the entire county. We're based in Katona, but we serve the whole county, and we have volunteers dotted all over the place. And where we really need help is in Yonkers, New Rochelle, and Mount Vernon. We have very few volunteers in those areas. If you know anybody in those areas that would be willing to, it's not hundreds of hours. It's not it's a commitment to do it, but you can drive once a week, once a month. It's not where you're giving tons and tons of hours unless you'd like to. So I have business cards. If you're interested and you know somebody that needs a service, just give us a call and we'll give you all the details once again to see if we can help out.
Statewide program. We go into nursing homes wherever somebody expresses an interest to get out of the nursing home, you'd be surprised how many people are stuck in them for years and years, even younger people, but of course also older people. So we go in, we assess the situation, and we help put the support pieces together to help them get out of the nursing home and back to the community. So me knowing all the resources in the community obviously helps. I'm the lead transition specialist for the 7 counties of the lower Hudson Valley. So that does include Westchester, but it includes Sullivan County, Orange County, Dutchess, Putnam, Rockland, all over. So if I did not come equipped with many flyers, I have some business cards on the table. But if you reach out to Westchester Independent Living Center and tell them you want open doors, they'll connect you with me. And you'd also be surprised how understaffed the nursing homes are with aides and with social workers. So they don't have the time to help somebody look for an apartment or put referrals in for these specialized programs that give these supports. In addition to the short staff in nursing homes, we're also running into a horrible short staff situation throughout the state. Could be countrywide for all I know, but since COVID, the aides, there's a real challenge in getting aides. So there's Consumer Directed is one program that helps people hire people in the community. So if you know relatives or family or friends that want to make a little bit of money, obviously it's not a lot of money, they can help work for people. And I'm hoping that eventually New York State will start paying the aides a little bit more, and we can get more aides and get people better support, both in the facilities and in the community. And that's my spiel. I'm going to throw one other thing out there. I have another hat I wear for Northern Westchester Hospital. We've developed a program, a vaping cessation program for teens, mostly directed at Northern Westchester, but we work in Westchester with teens. So I know that's really not an elderly thing, but it is a thing that you probably are all aware of, so spreading the word is always helpful. So that's it.
We've become friends. I'm Barbara Stern from the Partnership Initiative Program. This is our 5th year of our grant, and we work with Colette and Jennifer and, of course, Tanya. And our grant is to help seniors find resources needed in the community. Jennifer, you asked about maybe one of the 2 issues that we're finding the most, first being loneliness. Our phone is busy. Tanya can attest to that. People have been alone, they're lonely. We're finally making home visits, but I don't know for how long we're going to continue what's going to happen. And the second is, I am with Lexington Center for Recovery. I am a licensed therapist for seniors with drug and alcohol-related problems. And what am I seeing now? A huge surge in alcohol. So people are lonely. What are they turning to? So do call Tonya, call myself, and it's good to be here today. Thank you.
Congregational Church. Also the commissioner for the Veterans Service Agency. As you guys know, many of the churches have been closed during the COVID, and that's a challenge for our seniors who do not have Facebook or able to view it. Also with the veterans, we found during the COVID, unfortunately, 14 unhoused, homeless veterans. Majority of them were seniors. The eldest one was 85 years old, living in his car in Stop and Shop. And I don't have to tell you that Department of Senior Programs and Services have been a wonderful help to them. We created a Wellness Wednesday to be able to tap in and make phone calls, and also have baskets made for our homebound veterans that we've been delivering in person. We have been in person at the Veterans Service Agency, and so our first phone call there after being sworn in was that of somebody in distress who needed clothing, and so it made sense to turn my office into a resource closet that has clothing, food, hygiene products that's now known as Kristen's Closet. And in 1 year, we've now served 3,000 veterans. Majority of them are our seniors. We also serve 850 of them from right here in the Mount Vernon area. And again, these are seniors. Because we are in person, we have been doing things in small groups with the safety of masking and distance. And so we've had paint night, and we've been doing bingo, which has been enjoyable for them, you know, both in person and with the capability online. And we just had our first outing to the movies last Thursday. And I want to tell you, it was such a pleasure. We had 10 people, 10 seniors who talked junk in the movie theater. And we had the entire theater to ourselves. And so that was very enjoyable. And we look forward, you know, to continuing the wonderful partnership with Westchester County senior programs, who have known me since I was young and shaped like Haley Berry. And they ensured that I had every certificate that I could have, from neonatal to hospice and in between. And I'm grateful to my mentor, Colette Phipps, and May Carpenter, who said, great speech, Viviana. Do yourself a favor while you're taking care of your mother-in-law. Go back to school for your respite and get some initials behind your name. And thanks to her, I went back to school at 50 to finish my bachelor's, my master's, and almost done with my doctorate.
What I will say is that we have a very large array of direct service programs and lines of assistance for seniors. If I can name just 3 things, that would be enough, but there are probably 15 things. I'll name, recently got a grant for some respite and group work, including support groups for caregivers, especially those with taking care of people with dementia. I run several socialization programs by Zoom and telephone. Some of them are for neurotypical people especially, and some of them are very dementia friendly that are focused on song and celebration. We run a home delivered meals program for people who need kosher or, and I really want to emphasize this, halal food, because people don't know that we do that, and that most Muslim people will accept kosher food as acceptable by Sharia. So those are just 3 of the programs. If you want to know more, you can call me or write to me, mgoldman@wjcs.com, because there's a lot more to say.
Yes. We launched back in late January of 2020. So we were getting our feet off the ground, and 6 weeks later, or even less, COVID hit. So we had to pivot from the beginning. So I understand, you know, finding out the programs, we had to think way outside the box. What I'm happy is that we've made partnerships, and I've made contact with a lot of you here already. Sippy, there, Barbara Stern, so Jonathan. So we've really reached out to a lot of people, and I've been writing my notes. I want to give a special thank you to Colette and May, because they put our information out there on the weekly newsletter, and we have a summer intern with their help who's been able to help remotely, but that's how you work it and make it happen. We offer services to seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We offer transportation, so we have a van. And we offer case management and nursing services, which Alexis will talk about, because she's our case manager. And we offer different Zoom programs, which go from art, music, gardening, fitness 5 days a week, for yoga. Definitely the art ones are beautiful because they actually do art on Zoom. We have bingo. Our last bingo will be today, in person and over Zoom at the Will Library. Yonkers Public Library is one of our major partners. We've made partnerships with 22 organizations. I always like to find new partners. I know Anna I have to call for the driving workshop. So if you have any workshops that we can partner with, we're all trying to serve the same community. So I think together is better. So thank you again to everything you do. We're here for you, and we love working with our, umbrella agencies. But we're mostly out. We don't have a physical location, but we're out with the community. So we know COVID is a big deal, but we're getting through it. So we can't wait to the day then there's no COVID, right? None of us can. So this is my colleague, Alexis Smith.
Yes, my name is Alexis Smith. I'm the case manager with the Yonkers NORC. As Sally said, we serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. As far as my role, I'm like a big referral source, just an ear sometimes to a lot of seniors. I do a lot of telephone reassurance and just pointing people in the right direction so they can remain safely in their homes. We also have a nurse on staff, and she helps with a lot of health questions. So we're just like a big resource to people, and we really just like to be in the community and do what we have to do to keep people at home.
And we didn't say what NORC stands for. It's Neighborhood Naturally Occurrent Retirement Community. So that's what Alexis just said, helping seniors age home with a purpose. So if there's any volunteer opportunities that you have for our seniors, we're welcome to tell them that, because you know, some of them, they don't want to, they'll say, no, I don't need the case management services. Yeah.
But they do want to volunteer, so that's a big help for us as well.
Yes, we give out your information. Yeah, we give out your information all the time, so thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ronnie Cox, and it's so great to be here today to see so many people that I haven't seen in the last 15, 18 months. So I'm glad that we all survived it and we're here together. I used to be a livable community coordinator, as you are aware, but my responsibilities are a little bit different today. I still work for Westchester County Office of Aging, but my primary responsibility is housing, and also working with seniors who are in landlord-tenant court. Needless to say, in these times, because of the pandemic, we are flooded every day with really heartbreaking stories about seniors. I heard some of them today, and all of those are true, and even more. We have veterans that call, we have everybody that calls, and I think the oldest person I had call me was 95 years old, who was in a situation of facing homelessness. One of the things that we are aware of is that a lot of seniors, because of the pandemic, and whether it was a family member that was contributing money towards the rent or expenses, and that family member has now lost their job or something worse, we're finding that a lot of seniors are in fact in trouble. There's a new program that our office is working with the 9th Judicial Court System, that we are going to be putting some more help in the court with seniors. You may be aware that prior to the pandemic, I was actually going to landlord-tenant court, and the judges would introduce me, and when we identified seniors, they would allow them to come in the hall, talk with me, and I would evaluate how we can get their rent paid. I would get them a free attorney, and in some cases, I needed to be the mediator between the tenant and the landlord. Or in other cases, we had to find them housing. But two things I want to share with you today, which is really critical. The federal stimulus money that went to New York State is over $2 billion. And you probably read stories in the paper that not all of the money has been pushed out yet. And that is true. New York State and other states were trying to do some kind of a test to be sure that it was going to the right people. And whatever the states, and it's not just New York State, it's all throughout the country. In New York State, the moratorium on eviction is going to end August 31st. And unless the new governor, Hochul, decides to extend that to August 31st, it does sound like that's going to be the date, which means that we're revving up all of legal services, all of the courts, they're revving up right now for an onslaught of cases September 1st. Communities like Mount Vernon have had 700 people already on the docket that are going to be addressed as soon as that moratorium ends. As a matter of fact, almost every court in Westchester County is going to be doing double, triple duty just to try to address the back cases. Courts are going to be doing as many as 20 to 25 cases a day just to address the backlog. And then you're going to have an onslaught of landlords that are going to be coming in, posting eviction notices and whatever. So we're at a very critical time right now. But the most important thing that I want you to know is this. There is money available, but I want to clear up. The money that's available from the federal stimulus, the money that's in New York State, that money is for COVID related. If the family had either COVID or them or somebody in their household that contributed to their expenses, lost their job, got reduced wages, something about COVID. However, there's also a part on that application for the state that if a senior was afraid to go out and grocery shop and they needed to hire a neighbor or a family member or a stranger to go do their shopping for them, there's actually a box on that New York State form that they will consider that why you have fallen behind in your rent and why you need help. So what I was told at a meeting that the commissioner was with me, with the Board of Legislators, is that we don't make the determination, get as much information as we can, and then put it out there. There are 11 agencies that Westchester County hired to do nothing but online applications. Because what happened was that, and this is important you know that, the money that came from the federal government for Westchester County is with New York State. So our money is commingled. Now I know there's some people here in Yonkers, but I have to say this because I even checked it yesterday for another family. Yonkers is out of money. And why is Yonkers out of money? Because Yonkers and I believe Rockland County decided to have their own money. So when the money came to the state, Yonkers and I believe Rockland County, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but they said, we want our money. We want to manage our money. So Yonkers has already run out of money. I had a Yonkers senior that was on the phone with me yesterday, and I went to the city website to take a look, and it's still up there, that they're not accepting any more applications. So anybody who lives in Yonkers, if you have not put in your application, that's it. The COVID money is over. But because Westchester County is commingled with all of the New York State money, from what we understand, anywhere anybody else in New York State can apply for that money with the 11, and you can only make the application with one, but sometimes the lines are busy and people are telling me that they can't get through. The other money is available, and on a meeting that we had with the Board of Legislators, I understand that additional money did come into the Department of Social Services. So if somebody tells you they have back rent, but it's not COVID related, as I have just explained, send them to the Department of Social Services. They will figure out what they need, whether they can cover it. But the main thing is that we're going to provide as a county as much help to these seniors as we possibly can. The other thing, if you call me, you know I'm the housing person, and I have a colleague now that we just brought her into my unit in January. Her name is Kathy Fagan. She's not here today because she's on vacation this week, but either of us will be more than happy to help give you the information so that you would be able to help your client. Now, it is a problem with housing right now. And the truth of the matter is there are so many cases in the court that the court is backlogged. I already told you about, I mean, there are thousands, we don't know exactly how many cases. I mentioned Mount Vernon, but let me tell you, everywhere in Westchester County and actually nationwide, according to the news, they anticipate 150 million people are going to be evicted. The federal moratorium ended July 31st, but New York State will end August 31st. So I'm letting you know that anybody that calls for help, if you don't have the information, call our office, and me and Kathy and our whole team will do whatever we can to help your senior. But the bottom line is that nobody should be out here completely frightened and afraid. We'll do everything that we can. We do believe that there's going to be a backlog in housing until maybe the end of September, because I've heard from some of the judges that there are landlords who cannot get possession of their apartments. They know that the people have either passed away or they moved, but they can't get permission to go into the apartment until the moratorium ends. So the judge cannot give the landlords access to their own property until after September 1st. So I do believe that maybe by the end of September, October, November, there will be more apartments that will open up. But right now, there is a backlog. And so you need to be aware of it, and so do your clients. One last thing that I got this morning from our office, from the director that handles our area. The memo that I got this morning was about the booster. And I just went to call her to make sure I had the information correct so I can give you some information on it. The booster for anyone who has immune compromise, you can get that right now. Westchester County Center has that available right now today. Walk in with no appointment. Walgreens and also CVS also have the booster, but you have to make the appointment through their websites. But that's available to you today. As you know, the booster was already approved for 8 months from your last shot. But I heard on the news last night that it was the government, but they didn't say which agency, was thinking about making the booster available 6 months after you had your last shot. So the person who sent me the memo from our office, I called her just a little while ago and I said, explain that to me because I'm a little confused with what I heard last night. So tentatively, it's not signed, sealed, and delivered yet, but you may be hearing something in the news, and I'm sure that you'll get information direct from our office, that September 20th, there's a possibility that it will be open. Well, it will be open for the third shot to everyone. However, there's a possibility on September 20th, even if you're 6 months from your last shot, you may still qualify. So more information will be coming out, but I wanted you to know that the booster is here in Westchester County. Again, CVS and Walgreens, you can go onto their website if you're immune compromised, and you can get the shot, or you could do a walk-in at Westchester County Center. And then for the rest of us, September 20th will be the date that we're going to keep an eye on. And I know Colette and her team will absolutely keep everybody informed on that. But this is a memo that I got this morning, actually, before I came here. So I just wanted to give you the update on those two things, and if you have any questions about housing, about funding, please let me know. Thank you.
Excuse me, Ronnie, the Guardian Ad Litem program.
I wasn't going to say, I should say it, I wasn't going to say it, but I will say it. I was asked to go into landlord-tenant court back in 2018, and so I started spending more of my time working on housing because the issues are so critical. And so the Commissioner Carpenter, and the person in charge of our department from the County Executive's Office, we started meeting with the Ninth Judicial Court. And I was reporting all of the things that were going on and things that we saw in court. And we're very concerned about so many seniors who never in their life have they ever been in landlord-tenant before because they worked, they had a spouse, they had a partner, and they were able to cover their bills. Now all of a sudden, these poor seniors find themselves, out on a limb. They don't know what to do. They're scared to death. And so we were reporting this. So the chief judge, Judge Sam Walker, he took very serious the things that we said, and one of his committees of lawyers from all throughout the county, they recommended a program called Guardian Ad Litem. We were referring to it as GAL. New York City has had a GAL program for years, and Westchester County just agreed that we're going to work with this program and roll it out into all of our municipal, town, and village courts here in Westchester. We're going like crazy to try to roll this out September 1st. But the Guardian Ad Litem program, the GAL, is not a lawyer. It's not a lawyer, but it's an advocate. So originally it was supposed to be rolled out for seniors only. But then the county made the decision that any legal age renter should also have access to this program. And what it is, you still need to have a lawyer to represent you in court, but you have an advocate. So say, for example, you're a senior citizen and you're in landlord-tenant court being evicted because you're a hoarder. Well, if you're a hoarder, usually you get in that position over the years, you don't know what to do, you're scared to death, you're getting ready to lose your housing. Well, this advocate will be appointed by the judge to work with you for free to you, to go to court with you, to hear the court case. The judge will want reports from this advocate for you. This person is not Article, I think it's called Article 81 Guardian. An Article 81 guardian can actually write money from your paycheck or your money. This guardian cannot. This person is an advocate who's there. So if you're a hoarder, then this advocate, which we're going to pre-train, is to get you where you know how to call for services. How can you best represent this, in our case, senior that you're working with? So we're going to use all of the materials that are so great that our department puts out there. But this advocate will be working with you the whole time that you're in court. So the judges will make the determination as to whether they feel that you're confused and you don't understand your process in court. And it's called part of the access to justice. If you don't understand what's going on in court, you can't properly represent yourself. Okay? So therefore, this advocate will work with you whether your court case is 3 weeks or whether it's 7 months. You'll have somebody that will work with you to address the issues that you're dealing with in court, whether it's back rent, whether it's hoarding, whether it's some other kind of situation that they can get involved and help you. So this, we are going at breakneck speed to get this in place by September 1st. We feel already, just from what we're hearing around in the courts, we're going to probably have 100 clients. At some point, we're going to start recruiting people to work with us and to train you as a GAL, and there will be a stipend that will be given to you to do this, but we're not ready to talk about that piece right now. But we did have a major training the week before last with judges from New York City that trained the Westchester County judges on how this GAL program under the law works. And so we also have about 15 GALs in New York City that have agreed to be trained by us here in Westchester so that they can start addressing clients come September 1st. But then right after that, we're going to start recruiting our own GALs here in Westchester County. And I am part of the training team that will be bringing you up to date on the different services and how you access them. Many of you already know this. There's going to be a paid stipend, but I can't talk about that until the county gives me permission to do that. So you'll hear more about that, but just know that the county is doing everything, and you know our office. I don't have to talk about Colette, and I don't have to talk about Commissioner Carpenter. You know that they're right on it, okay? So we're doing everything that we can to help seniors. So if you have any questions, reach out to Colette, reach out to Jennifer, reach out to me if it's a housing situation, but just know we're working together with the court to address these situations. Thank you.
My name is Shirley Maurice. First, I want to acknowledge Ms. Nancy, who reached out to me by telephone and also by email, and I did not respond. So I'm owning what I did wrong. Because usually I get so many emails and so many phone calls, and if the identity is not there, I don't get it. But I already apologized to Ms. Nancy, and I'm owning my error. I was invited today by Ms. Maddie Little, who is the president of our NAACP, and I serve as her vice president. When I arrived here, I came in support to her, which I am still in support for her because I serve as her vice president. But I also am president of Church Women United in Mount Vernon, which is a consortium of about 16 churches, of which I see about 4 of our churches here. Reverend Viviana from First Congregational, and Ms. Flo over here, who is from Mount Zion Christian and United Methodist. Reverend Branch, are you back here someplace? Yeah, she left, but she was here. So, I'm sorry.
She will be back.
Okay, but I see you, and and I know you represent United Methodist, and I'm from Unity Baptist Tabernacle. So I am just pleased today to get all of this important information and carry it back to the consortium of the churches so that we can be united and serve each other, because that is what the mission is that I have gathered since I was here, that we all want to take a little piece and we're going to work together so that we can make the living community a better working place and a superior working place, as I have already heard that it is. So that I'm on board today, to do whatever I can and to carry back all these good messages that I have heard, and also to do, not only to carry it back, but whatever I can offer to you, I am willing to do that. So thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Maddie Little. I'm president of the Mount Vernon branch NAACP. She has taken a load off me because we are united together in all of our efforts. We meet every month virtually, and beginning in September we will resume our meetings, and I will take back to our group and assign these responsibilities to our chairpersons of each department, and we are hoping that we will work together closely and we can get a job done. Together we stand, and united we will fail. And thank Ms. Maurice, who is my vice president, who is my supporter. And I said to her, I said, I'm quite sure you got some information about this meeting today. So now she recognized that, and I thank you because we are together. We are one. Thank you so much. My name is Matthew Little, president of NAACP.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. Mary Kate McLaughlin. I'm with Community Relations at Cortland Healthcare in Cortland Manor, Northern Westchester. And we just want to echo our thanks to the Commissioner and to the department for enabling us to gather. I see faces that I haven't seen in a long, long time, and I'm anxious to talk and catch up a little bit. Cortland Healthcare, we do short-term rehabilitation, and we've made it through the storm in the thick of COVID. Happy to say that we are open for visitation, so you are allowed to come in by appointment to see your loved ones who are in rehab. Rehab now more than ever, and I'll just take a step backwards for those that don't know. It's for people who are recuperating from a surgery, perhaps. You can only stay at the hospital so long. Insurance will only cover you so long at an acute level, and then many insurances will cover a subacute or a rehab for you to go to for a couple of weeks before you return home, and so you can gather your strength. So hips, knees, a fall, a cardiac event, neurological, a stroke or something like that. We work with all the local specialists to bring skilled nursing care to our patients, and physical and occupational rehabilitation. During COVID, we increased our respiratory therapy to acute levels, which is we have a phenomenal team working with us, and we're also a preferred provider for Northwell Health. Now more than ever, we can say the word, people are fearful to go into healthcare facilities. I have a social work background. If anyone here has a loved one or are facing something themselves, please come and talk to me. I can tell you about the most recent CDC guidelines, Department of Health guidelines, what we're personally doing at Cortland Healthcare, and what I'm hearing in the area. I'm happy to share all information. We work closely with Hannah Gross. I have for years. She's a wonderful partner. We're going to be doing an event at the Cortland Seniors, again a respiratory event in the fall, and we're looking forward to that. And stay safe to everyone. Thanks.
I'm so grateful for this organization. I think it's the best organization ever. So all this information that I gathered today, I'm a patient navigator. I started a program over at the Reach Church in White Plains. So there's about over 1,000 members, and we have food pantries, and I started reaching out to make cooking for the soup kitchen in Mount Vernon. We've been visiting the police department way before the pandemic, 5-6 years now, delivering meals, giving them support, the fire department also, the hospitals. And also I reached out to the Allstate agency in Mount Vernon, so also the community at large, because he gets a lot of phone calls with questions. So he'll call me and absolutely for free under the guidelines of the livable communities. We try to answer and give. My motto is, if I don't know it, I will find out for you. By phone calls during the pandemic, but we have visited the community with meals, and also with the food pantry, letting them know that we can, and also at the church, letting them know that anything that we can do for you, whether it's housing, paratransit, because my background is in social work in the nursing home and rehab center, so anything from A through Z, if I don't know it, I'll find out and I will call them back. And that's my friend there, Mark.
I am the Vice President of the New York State Police and Fire Retiree Organization, so I have a lot to do, and I used to be similar when I was active as well with the police in a large federation. Why I'm here other than that is because, especially I hear a lot of things that I'm familiar with at this point. I do run a cat rescue organization known as the Cat Colony Crusade. We provide, and I'm trying to segue into seniors, we provide vetted, no charge animals. We rescue them off the street, we socialize them, we get them to where they have to be so that they can be a companion to someone. And anyone who wants my card, unfortunately, especially in Yonkers and Mount Vernon, we have a bumper crop of cats who are available to do that. So if you have any clients, anyone you work with who I heard about addictions, post-traumatic stress, I have a person who I deal with on a regular basis, Vietnam vet, lost his brother there. I can't even imagine how this guy functions, but he did for the last 30 years. He has one of our cats. It's one of the greatest things. He tells me, oh, this is better than my therapy. because I have something I love, I take care of it, it takes care of me. So whether it's veterans, seniors, whatever, please take my card. I have plenty of cats available. I would say for seniors, I would go with a cat, not a kitten, but I have those too, and actually, outside of just the seniors, free of charge. I take care of things, they're vetted, they're fixed, they're everything they have to be, and I also, one part of it, not to be morbid, but when it comes to the seniors, you can also keep my card. Anything happens to the senior, and you need to find a home for the cat, send them back. I'll find another home for them. Okay, so my name is Mark. Pleasure to meet everybody.
Westchester Library System here. I was going to make a joke earlier about, I was planning to make a joke about saving the best for last, but that was before Ronnie gave us all that great information. So, I'm hearing across all of the other organizations, everybody here that, so we've had to adapt so much over the last year and a half to our populations that we're serving. And the libraries, it's the same thing. Our member libraries, at this point, they're all open, but they've been trying their best to offer online programming to keep people engaged from their home. They're offering curbside pickup, accommodations for people who are uncomfortable going there in person, but they're also offering computer access if you don't have computer or internet at home. You can go to the library and use the computers there, the printers. That is all back in person again. The best choice there, or the best option there, is to call your local library and figure out exactly what they're offering. But on the system side, we've also been doubling down on our online offerings, trying to get people connected with resources that might help them. Things like our Medicare counseling that we had been doing in person at the libraries, that's primarily been happening through a helpline that we're operating, and we will be back in person at 2 locations in Yorktown and Yonkers mid-September. Aside from that, our e-resources that we offer, e-books, audiobooks, all of that stuff, we've been promoting that along with the state Talking Book and Braille Library, which will provide a free audiobook player and free books on tape directly delivered to your home as long as you have some sort of motor, visual, or even cognitive impairment that makes reading a print book difficult. That's entirely free. We recognize that not everybody has access to a computer or internet at home, so we have a whole digital access project that we're doing in collaboration with the county and with all of our libraries across the county. If you know of a senior who needs a device or an internet connection, reach out to us and we'll try to connect them with something. And likewise, for some people, they don't want to go into the libraries right now. We're offering temporary library cards that you can use for any of the digital stuff. You don't need any kind of proof of address. You don't need any kind of proof of identification. We'll give you a temporary card to bridge that gap until you can get your permanent card through your local library. Aside from this stuff, we also participate in the Senior Law Day Collaborative, and that has an event coming up, I think, at the end of September here at the same park, where we'll be doing the 15-minute consultations with lawyers, geriatric care managers, financial planners. These are things that we've been doing online over Zoom, but once again, that's not the perfect solution for everybody. And they've continued to do their presentations on legal matters throughout the pandemic. Recordings for all of those can be found online. So, if you have any questions about the library, if you want to hear any more about any of these programs, please feel free to walk up and say hello after this. Thanks, everyone.
In Westchester County for about 10 years now. Since 2014, we've been working with the Department of Senior Programs and Services with Jennifer, Colette, and May with the TIPS program right here, where we've been connected with a lot of community villages, senior centers, senior homes, with folks in the community that can come down, work with our students to check vital signs, answer questionnaires, get social support wraparound services, and have that data connected and reviewed by a registered nurse working remotely, so they can kind of help triage cares with the participant and their primary care providers. Over the past year and a half, there's been a lot of challenges with community programs. So Westchester County in January of this year launched the Tips at Home program, where we've connected about 80 seniors with at-home monitoring with our nurses and in their own homes and safeties of their homes. So we have that up and running. And doing a lot of things from technology, staffing, and patient care, keeping that centric. So nice to meet everyone. It's good to see everyone.
Everybody, my name is Mary Kay Capasso. I have the great good fortune of working for the Department of Senior Programs and Services. under Commissioner Carpenter and is part of Colette Phipps' Livable Communities groups. As you have a sense, there are a number of programs we offer. The two that I want to talk about this morning briefly are, first, we've been able, with the support of senior programs, the public-private partnership, funding from Lifetime Arts and New York State Office for the Aging, to offer creative arts classes. We talked this morning about how important socialization is. We've been very fortunate to offer digital photography and memoir writing virtually, and we're starting Chinese brush painting later in September. They're offered at no charge with a teaching artist. They're done on Zoom, and I have more information at the blue tablecloth table if anybody has any questions or wants to learn more about it. The other thing I wanted to mention is the Health for Life programs. These chronic disease self-management programs we used to offer in person. Clearly, we can't do that right now, so we've been able to pivot and offer them both via Zoom and by telephone. And that's been very effective, particularly for people who do not have access to technology. We meet once a week for 6 weeks. 2 peer leaders facilitate the class. It's really about reminding ourselves about good health habits and better self-management of our health conditions. And it's been very gratifying, particularly for the phone participants, for them to be able to connect and meet one another and support one another and socialize without leaving the safety of their home, even if they don't have access to technology. I'd be happy to talk to anybody about the program, and I'll be out at the blue tablecloth when the event is finished. Thank you.